What up, what up, what up? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is your boy Mac the Giants fan, and I am premiering the first ever edition of After the Smoke Has Cleared. And on this edition of After the Smoke Has Cleared, I will be talking about the NXT Vengeance show from last night in Charlotte, North Carolina. If you are a wrestling fan, then you definitely, most definitely got a pretty good show last night to enjoy. The fans of Charlotte were great, and it was just a great overall live premium event NXT put on last night. Is it the best they ever done? No, I wouldn't call it that, but it was definitely high up there. It was definitely a good show. I enjoyed it thoroughly. First things first, so I want to get into this. I'm gonna just break down all the matches. It was about 5 or 6 matches on the card. I'm gonna break them all down real quick. Just a little recap of how I felt about the matches. Starting off, coming out with the very first match of the night, absolute banger. Wesley defending his NXT North American title against Dijak. Great build for this match. This match had great build over the course of the last couple of months. So they actually built this one up properly, and it was a great build, and it led up, and it finally came to a head on Saturday night in Charlotte with these two finally getting in the ring and getting it on, man. Dijak, I'm a big fan of Dijak and have been for a long time since his first run in NXT, where I thought he was going to become a megastar at that point in time, but yet then the WWE decided to kind of screw him over, so to speak. Took him up to the main roster, put him in a god awful, horrible storyline, put him in a just terrible faction, changed his name to T-Bar, and it was just all terrible. His whole entire run on the main roster, nothing to even remember about it. It was absolutely terrible. It was garbage. It was a waste of a couple of years for Dijak's career. Bring him back down to NXT and once again getting him started, getting his steam going again. And I thought this was going to be Dijak's night, to be quite frank, because I almost feel like, honestly, the WWE owes this guy. So I thought it was going to be his time. It wasn't. Unfortunately, it was not quite his time. This match was a great match. A lot of great spots in it, man. Some high flying spots from Wesley. Dijak with all his big power moves. But then it gets to the end of the match, and then here's where maybe new and developing storylines, man. And that's why I kind of like where they went with this, because I didn't expect Tony D'Angelo and Stacks to come down and in any way help Wesley. You would not think that these guys had Wesley's best interest at heart. But yet they came down and saved the day for Wesley, because it looked like Dijak was about to pretty much ruin Wesley's day and take that title off of him. And then Tony D'Angelo and Stacks came down and saved the day, man. Came down, pushed Wesley out the way, and absorbed the hit pretty much. Took the bullet for Wesley, which is really shocking and surprising. I'm curious to see where this is going to go in the future, but it seems to be a nice little developing storyline, and hopefully we'll get some answers on NXT on Tuesday's show on NXT, man. Maybe we'll get some answers. I'm excited to find out where this goes going forward. But Wesley, another good title defense. He's backing down from no one, and I'm sure he's gonna probably have to deal with Dijak again somewhere down the line, maybe. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. Dijak now has some other business to take care of, obviously, because Tony D'Angelo and Stacks definitely intervened and pretty much cost him his opportunity to win this title last night. But it was overall a great match, man. If you enjoy hard-hitting action, you got it right there from the door. It was a great way to start the show. Okay, after Dijak and Wesley, we had another title match coming up right behind that one. And that was the NXT Women Tag Team Championship match. Katana Chance, Caden Carter defending their tag team titles, against the newly formed tag team of Fallon Henley and Kiana James. Now, this is the one match that left a little sour taste in my mouth about the show overall. It wasn't that it was a bad match. Overall, it was a pretty decent match. However, the result was not what it was supposed to be. And WWE, once again, doing your absolute best to destroy tag team wrestling, period. Doing your absolute best. I mean, let's face it. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter are probably, I'm not even going to say probably. And you can feel any way you want. Anybody can feel any way they want about what I'm about to say. They are your best female tag team, period. Main roster, NXT, period. They are the one female tag team you have that look like a real tag team because they are a real tag team. You only got a couple other ones, maybe. You meet Toxic Attraction. Okay, yeah, that's a legit tag team. I'm not even so convinced on Dakota Kai and Io Sky, to be quite frank. The WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. I'm not even sold on them to consider them a real true tag team. They were kind of thrown together as well as being part of the Damage Control faction. So, like I said, Chance, Carter, that's your best. That's your best female tag team, period, in the company. In the company. And to have them take an L, lose their titles to a team that basically just formed like 2 weeks ago on a whim, it's just not believable enough, and you got to do better. There was no real build for this match whatsoever. No real build at all. And then on top of that, you end it by taking the titles off of the longest reigning NXT Women Tag Team Champions by a team that just formed a couple of weeks ago, don't even like each other, and we have no idea where this is going. What's the plan for now going forward with Fallon Henley and Kiana James being the Women Tag Team Champions? Because I'm going to tell you what, Katana, a Chance, and Kaden Carter, these ladies, they're a real tag team. They got the tandem moves and sync. What they lack in size, they make up for with creativity of the things they do in the ring and the way they move around the ring. And that thing is a travesty of justice and once again a slap in the face of the tag team division that these women lost their titles last night to a team that's not even really a team. They were literally arguing and bickering before the damn match. Like, give me a break. Give me a break. Got to do better. That end result, I'm not satisfied. It was the one thing about the show last night that left me a little bit just confused. Not just didn't understand what took place there, man. That's the only title that changed hands last night was these tag team titles last night. The women's, excuse me, I take that back. Both tag team titles did change hands. I'll get to that in a minute. Be getting to the men's title match in a minute. But this was just absolutely absurd to me. I didn't understand it and I didn't get it. And it's a shame. But hopefully we'll get those girls back in the mix. Maybe, unless there's some plan to bring Chance and Carter up to the main roster and have them start competing and try to build the women's tag team division on the main roster. I don't know. I have no idea what the plan is going forward with this. But it wasn't a good look. And there's just no way these two ladies should have lost their titles to a makeshift tag team that just formed a couple of weeks ago and don't even like each other. So, hey to that. Enough is enough talking about that. So we move on to what was an absolute banger of a match. 2 out of 3 falls. Apollo Crews, Carmelo Hayes. Woo! Was this match awesome. And it yet surprising as well. Awesome yet surprising because we all know as wrestling fans, most 2 out of 3 falls matches, they go to distance. They go to all 3 falls. It's usually, one wins 1 fall, the other one wins 2nd fall, and then it comes down to the decisive 3rd fall usually. Not this one. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Carmelo Hayes, man, as if this guy wasn't over enough. And hats off to Apollo Crews, man, coming back down to NXT, clearly seeming to be down there to not only help put this young talent over, but putting them over the top. He had his storyline with Grayson Waller. He had his storyline with Braun Breaker. This time he's just wrapping up this story with Carmelo Hayes. He clearly, at the end of this match, we see has another storyline that is about to develop. We'll see how that goes. But hats off to Apollo Crews for that, man, because a lot of guys, a lot of veteran performers don't like to help put the young talent over, man. And Apollo Crews, for what it's worth, he ain't some old, like, washed up vet. He's a vet though, vet nonetheless. But it's hats off to him that he's willing to do this with his career at this point and help put a lot of this young talent over the top in NXT. And it shows the love he had for the black and gold brand when he was a part of the black and gold brand in NXT, helping to put these NXT 2.0 superstars over, man. And Carmelo Hayes, like I said, he was already over anyway, and now he's ascended once again to another level with this big victory over Apollo Crews. 2 straight falls, he knocked Apollo Crews out, man. Tapping him out in the first fall, which was absolutely a great wrestling match, the first fall. And then the second fall, finishing the deal. It's how he finished the deal was a little bit, interesting, though. The former Commander Aziz makes an appearance, appears like he's coming down to give his buddy Apollo a hand, have his back, keep Trick Williams at bay. It mostly just was a distraction, however, that allowed Carmelo Hayes to get the second fall and get the victory in the match. But what was interesting about this after all the smoke cleared, this former Commander Aziz, I'm sorry I can't remember what his new name is, but the former Commander Aziz went in the ring and finished off Apollo Crews, which is obviously going to lead to a match or two down the line. And we're going to see how that all transpires. I don't know what kind of plans NXT has for the former Commander Aziz. And is he going to be the next one for Apollo to help get over with the crowd? To help get over. Like I said, we'll see. Developing story. That's another developing storyline that this show left you with last night. But overall, just a great match between Apollo Crews and Carmelo Hayes, man. These guys are both 2 very, very good in-ring talents. Carmelo Hayes is a superstar, man. He's a superstar, man. You want to shoot a guy to the moon? Carmelo Hayes is a guy you can shoot to the moon. But we'll talk about a little bit more about Carmelo a little bit later in a few minutes. Now let's get on to it, the following match. Fatal 4-way tag team match for the NXT Tag Team Champions. The champions, the New Day, coming out to defend their title against Gallus, against Pretty Deadly, and against Chase U. What a match this was. Another banger of a match, in my opinion. This match was exciting from the beginning until the end. And I went into this match with some exceptions. I figured New Day was not going to come out of this still the NXT champions. I think they came down there for a purpose to help bolster up the NXT tag team division. I think they might have done this successfully, help bring a little credibility back to it. People taking it a little more seriously again, and help get some of these guys over also once again. And I think they did that, and I think they can pretty much head back up to the main roster and resume their spots up there and do whatever they need to do up on the main roster. I think they can successfully, completed this mission down here in NXT for these last couple of months. Now, however, this match came out as the new NXT Tag Team Champions, Gallus, will go on to win this match, man, and well-deserved so, man. This is a hard-hitting team from NXT UK, and they had been on a long suspension, and they came back in, and this is a big opportunity for them, a big spot, and they got the job done. And it was a great match. It was, at any point in time, any one of these teams could have won this match. Chase U, great showing by Chase U. I think this is another team that I wouldn't have been shocked if they would have won this match, because they're so over right now that it could have very well made a case that it's their time as well. But definitely Big fan of Gallus, and I'm glad to see that they got the job done. And like I said, a great match here on this show for these tag team titles. Fatal 4-way, well executed match. All four teams laid it all on the line, man. Pretty deadly. Another good show, another big time performance by them as well. Obviously, they came up on the short end of the stick in this match too, but this was a great match. And Gallus, on top of winning, they pinned the champions. That's one thing about matches like this, where you like to see I like to see the champions get pinned, as opposed to them pinning one of the Chase U team members or one of the Pretty Deadly guys. They pinned Xavier Woods. They pinned the champions. They took the titles. Congratulations, Gallus, man. Great match, man. Love to see where things are going to go with them. I'm sure you're going to be seeing some Gallus Pretty Deadly matches, Gallus Chase U matches. It's the tag team division in NXT is starting to heat up, and now you got some new new kings of the division, man. So props to Gallus, man. Great match, great performance. Overall, just everything was just great here, man. Flawless performance, man. Really enjoyed this match a lot. Banger of a match. So then following the Fatal 4-Way, we get to the NXT Women's Championship match. Boy, oh boy, was this match, man. This match was not. I'm not gonna sit there and call this some great match, but Roxanne Perez continues to impress, man. Successfully defending her title once again in a triple threat match that started off kind of like a handicap match as she was taking on Toxic Attraction in this match. Gigi Dolan, JC Jane. In the beginning, we're all on the same page. They were pretty much, taking it to Roxanne. She had to weather that storm. Gigi, JC Jane, as I obviously was going to happen in this match. Triple threat, there'd only be one winner. Obviously, finally started butting heads and started going at it a little bit themselves. And they would right that ship, and they would get back on the same page for a little bit. But Roxanne Perez would just seize the momentum, man, and she hit that pop rocks off the top rope, man. That was impressive. It was very impressive, and it put JC Jane down, and she got the pin JC Jane and retain her title. So Roxanne Perez they call it a prodigy, man. This young lady, man, is just she has so much more to grow, and she's already the NXT Women's Champion, and yet you can still say how much more she has to grow. Yeah, this young lady is going to be a superstar, whether it's in WWE or whether it's anywhere else in the world, man. This young lady is just star power, man. She is sensational in the ring, like they say. They don't call it a prodigy for nothing. She is the real deal, man. At first, I was when she took the title from Mandy, I was like, was that kind of a rush decision because of the situation with Mandy Rose? But you know what? I think they might have got this one right, man. Roxanne Perez is the real deal, man. She's going to hold that title, I think, for quite some time. I think she's going to go on an epic title run here, man, because this young lady, she is something special. And you know when you see it. And I see it. Roxanne Perez, you are something special, young lady. 21-year-old, absolute prodigy in the ring, man. Another just sensational superstar on the NXT roster, man. But then we get finally to the main event of the evening. They lower the steel cage and enter Grayson Waller. Enter Braun Breaker. After a little while, it took a little while to get them both in the cage because Grayson Waller cheap shotted Braun Breaker as he was entering the cage initially, and the match kind of began on the outside of the cage. And then Braun Breaker got things under control, got both men in the cage, and boy, oh boy, did these two go at it, man. There was a couple of spots in this match where I thought we were getting ready to crown a new NXT champion. Grayson Waller put on a show in this match, man. Great performance by the arrogant Aussie. Great performance, though, man. Grayson Waller, hats off to him, man. He came up a little bit short in this one, man, but he made Braun Breaker earn it. He absolutely did, man. One of Braun Breaker's best title defenses, I believe. In my opinion, man, he went all out in this one. And he took everything he had, but he got the job done against a game Grayson Waller in this one, man. So this is going to be exciting, man. Getting ready now. I'm ready for Stand and Deliver coming up WrestleMania weekend. The Saturday on WrestleMania weekend, man. Look, I'm ready for Stand and Deliver, man, because it's going to be an awesome show, yo. Already pretty much can foreshadow and see the main event at Stand and Deliver, and I couldn't be more excited about it. I feel like the loser of that match is going to go to the main roster, and the winner is just going to continue to carry that throne in NXT. And I'm talking about what looks like it's going to be the main event at Stand and Deliver as being Carmelo Hayes challenging Braun Breaker. Dream match right now in NXT for NXT fans. Easily, in my opinion, the two top male superstars on the roster right now currently, in my opinion. Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker are the two top male superstars on the NXT 2.0 roster. And it's going to come to a head. It's going to come to a head at Stand and Deliver, man. And we're going to get a banger of a match. I know these guys are going to put on a show, and I can't wait to see it, man. Everybody, I want to thank y'all for tuning in, man, to this edition of After the Smoke Clears. It's your boy, Mac the Giants fan. Peace. I'd like to thank you all for listening. If you was feeling this, please take time to subscribe and smack them likes. Feel free to drop a comment and let me know what you think. Don't forget to ring that bell so you know when I'm dropping new content. It's your boy, Mac the Giants fan. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Mac the Giants fan. That's MacDa Giants fan.